Post World War II, the world was in shock and denial around inhumane atrocities that had taken place. Moral sensibilities were turned on their heads and left everybody wondering how an ordinary person could obey horrific orders. In today's video, I'm going to talk about Milgram's obedience experiment, Machiavellianism, and the mind under authority. So let's start with Milgram. It was 1961 and a psychologist named Stanley Milgram decided to find answers to these questions in the form of an experiment that would later become absolutely infamous. So Milgram designed an experiment to test obedience. He took a bunch of participants and asked them to administer electrical shocks to a learner that they couldn't see every time the learner gave a wrong answer. What the participants didn't actually know was that the shocks weren't real, the learners were actors, and 65% of the participants still went all the way to the highest voltage, even when the learner's distress increased to a point which sounded like a medical emergency or eventually a deathly silence. So under the guise of psychological inquiry, Milgram deceived participants. He stressed them out and then observed how far they go under pressure from an authority figure. Milgram wanted to prove that evil isn't always monstrous, sometimes it's ordinary people just following orders. Backlash to the experiment, however, was immediate. People were traumatized. Critics called the experiment cruel. Milgram defended it all by stating that potential insight into obedience was worth the emotional cost of the participants. His rationale closely mirrors Machiavellian thinking, where the ends justify the means, even if those means involved manipulation and psychological harm. Milgram's dark methods exposed greater truths about obedience, and in doing so, he became both a pioneer and a cautionary figure. Modern research ethics like informed consent, debriefing, participant welfare were all born from experiments just like Milgram's. And this today is still relevant when we ask ourselves whose authority we may be under, and do these ends justify their means?